Jakey.
Welcome. We get a little audio adjustment here, Sebek here. No, the other way.
There we go.
How we doing? How we doing? Appreciate you guys all coming out. I have just released the final migration details on all of our channels. Please go ahead and check that out before we get started. We're going to be reviewing a lot of that stuff today. Overall, it's a celebration, though, guys. We made it.
Yes, 1 year. 1 year anniversary. Emissions have finally ended. What a huge milestone.
Man, surely made it to the finish line. A lot of great things to go over this year, guys. We really appreciate everyone's support. Getting through this. Honestly, couldn't expect a better result. You know, we were able to maintain PEG for the most part throughout the entire year. Second highest bonded value of all time with the Olympus Pro. Put that feather in our cap. Treasury investment account of a little over $400,000. And we just released the migration details, allowing us to make our way over to Arbitrum, where all the good DeFi is heading. If you haven't checked out the announcements yet, I'm just kind of going over our chats and stuff. Thank you for dropping that in there. You can now officially migrate all your individual tokens. I appreciate that you know, people that were moving out of the LPs early. This was kind of a necessary step. You know, we've done many other migrations in the past, and you guys know that we always try to make it as easy and seamless as possible. However, this one definitely takes the cake as far as migrations go. Having to get out of 3 different LP kind of tokens and migrating them all down to a single LP. A single native token, and then migrating over. It's definitely a challenging feat, but I think we got it all in the bag. If you, in fact, maybe let me share my screen here. Give me 1 second. We can just go over some of this. There you go.
Let me know when you're sharing, and I'll change the view.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm pulling it up right now. There we go. All right, we're live.
Hey, the slickest new logo in DeFi. Look at that.
Yeah, everything's new. We got new tokens. We got new logos. We got new emissions plans. Super excited to be on the Real Yield. Very happy to officially not be an inflationary meme token almost. We've officially got rid of all the Tomb Fork stuff. Wait till you guys see the new app. It is something special. Let's just kind of go through this medium just so everyone has an idea of kind of where we're going, any processes and things that we're doing to just get some clarity on some of this stuff. So, as I mentioned, we have this new the migration dashboard is live. There's links for that in the Discord and the Telegram, also on this Medium article here. So it should be a very simple process. Basically, you'll have it's just one page. We made it real simple. You'll basically come here. You connect to the app. Once you connect, it's going to read those. It's going to read those. It's going to read your values, right? So again, you still need to get out of the LPs, get down to a single token. You're going to have once you get to this dashboard here, you'll see a little option to select which currency you're depositing. So you can go ahead and select USDX, Dex IRA, Dex share. Basically, you're gonna deposit it here, and at the bottom you'll see what you're getting on the other side. Give it the deposit actually right away instantly. We're going to open up the claims for your deposited assets roughly about a week from now. We'll see how the migration goes. If people are moving faster, then we may decide to push it up or back a little bit. But tentatively right now, 1 week from today, we will kind of shut down this app. Basically put the old app.DexFinance on a legacy type link somewhere, and then coming in hot with the new app, new super app we have. We're migrating down the vaults, the ETFs, the new Dex swap, which is really cool. We'll maybe get into some of that at the end. All the stuff will be in one app, and basically whatever you have to claim here, whatever you've deposited here, this is what you'll be able to claim on Arbitrum. We will also, anybody who deposits into this contract, we will dust you guys with a little bit of ETH on Arbitrum, so you don't have to necessarily worry about that. Dex swap is actually going to be gasless, so you technically don't even have to worry about spending any ETH or gas money on Arbitrum if you're only trading the DexFi native tokens. But we will supply a little bit of gas money just because, so you can start moving some funds over. Super excited about Arbitrum. Very low gas fees in general, and also a lot of great DeFi moving there. I think it's going to be really good for us as a whole, being able to get in and out of the vaults easier, all that good stuff. You will actually have, I guess before we get into too much stuff, in terms of claiming your USDX Plus and your GDEX, you will be able to claim those on Arbitrum. You'll be able to, of course, make your vaults how you normally would. We're also going to be adding in an option for single staking just for USDX Plus, fully asset-backed stable. So you guys can choose to enter the vaults or leave them out just for USDX Plus if you'd like. I know some people didn't like getting in and out. A lot of that will change actually when we get to we're actually in the process of a Dex Vaults V3 version. The new version will have some things for concentrated liquidity, depositing and withdrawing the actual LPs, so you don't have to break them up each time, and some other interesting features that we're working on. I don't want to spill the beans too much, but a lot of cool stuff that'll really help you guys get around and use the vaults a lot more easily. So right now the treasury is looking pretty good. We currently have about 400,000, as I mentioned, in investments. About 140 right now in the vaults, various projects. The other 260 or so is in some partner project that we are really excited about. A good chunk of that actually is in like pre-launch phases that we're going to really try to utilize, and once those once those launch, should be worth a lot more actually. So we're pretty excited about that. The other part of the non-liquid assets is some of our investments in the like the VNFTs and some of our partner projects for bribing, voting, that kind of thing. We're actually doing pretty well. Those actually pay out pretty well most weeks. So not only just non-liquid, but revenue generating right now currently, which will be something we're covering a little bit here. So this is just a mock-up. These aren't our actual numbers, but excited to show off our new dashboard in the coming week or so here. Everything will be in real time. You'll be able to, this is all actually interactive stuff. Obviously it's an image here, but you'll be able to hover your mouse over there and kind of see historical data for all that stuff. It's pretty cool things we'll get to. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes here. A couple things about GDEX supply. So, we said that we were trying to keep the total supply the same as DexShare, which we did a really good job of. Actually, super proud and happy that we were able to build up enough DexShare to handle the complete migration from DexIRA. That was honestly no small feat. We had to buy back a whole ton of DexShare to be able to make that happen. But that part's done. So we're really happy about that. However, moving from like this mercenary liquidity into completely protocol and liquidity, obviously has a lot of great advantages. The treasury will be able to maintain that liquidity at all times. Won't have to worry about anyone pulling it on you. It will always stay in the treasury. Liquidity will be paired. GDEX liquidity will be paired with USDX plus, so it'll always be asset-backed, stable, right? So even if the general markets collapse, or we won't see any downturn being paired with BNB like has happened before in the past. So all these are good things. However, obviously we're relying on ourselves now in order to provide this liquidity. So initial liquidity will be at least 200,000 on the GDEX token. We may be able to add a little more of that depending on how the migration goes, but 200 is definitely a safe number. It's good. We're really happy about that. However, it's light in the grand scheme of things. So in order to really bolster that deep liquidity, we're bringing on another percentage of GDEX to be used strictly for the bonding. We're going to keep the bonding going for a little while longer. Again, the extra supply is just going to the bond contracts, and will be vested out over a year-long period. So any concerns about additional supply kind of diluting the the revenue from GDEX staking, is definitely going to be mitigated by expanding it this year-long period. In addition, we're also going to implement a buyback program. So hopefully the idea is we'll be able to build the strong liquidity that we need, but and also fill up our investment treasury a little bit more as well. But ultimately, it's a circle, right? We're adding to liquidity, we're adding to to the invest fund, and then buying those GDEXs back that we're putting into the market in order to get that liquidity. So we feel pretty good about this. I know it's probably a contentious opinion. Some people might be disappointed, but I can promise you that we are going to make every effort that we can in order to maintain the current supply. And honestly, the buyback and burn program, in theory that could go on indefinitely, even after the period is over, the bonding period is over. We've actually partnered up with Bond Protocol for this. This is the like kind of the next gen bonding platform from the Olympus Pro guys. So we've kind of carried those relationships over. They have a really great interface, even better than the original Olympus Pro model. So we'll get into that next week. In fact, I think we're going to try to leave the current bonds available right now, at least through the migration period. So you can go ahead and continue bonding through the next week. And at that point, we'll shut those off, and hopefully it'll be a seamless transition into the new bond protocol. Okay, so moving on. Let's get through some of this list here, and then we'll hop in, let some other guys talk a little bit, and take any questions you guys might have. Okay, USDX migration. So this is another big one here, guys. Obviously, we've been chipping away at our collateralization of the USDX for a while now. We're currently at about 60% or so, and basically the system that we designed here is really the only way to make it fair for everybody, and also be able to make the switch from the algorithmic stablecoin to a real asset-backed stablecoin, right? So essentially, what's going to happen is when you deposit into the migration contract, you're going to be given a receipt token. This receipt that you're going to get, you'll have access to this to your own dashboard, where you'll be able to see, where your balance is at of the V1 tokens, of the V1 USDX. During this process where we're finishing the collateralization, you're still going to be receiving. We're going to try to keep it in the 20% range APR, very similar to what it's been throughout the last 6 months or so. Stable returns for stablecoin at $1. Of course, as we've said it over and over again, whatever the price of the current V1 USDX is, V2, the conversion to V2 will be at $1. So if you put 100 USDX in the V1s, you'll get 100 USDX V2s, the USDX Plus. Again, asset-backed stables, fully collateralized. We're going to have proof of reserves for you guys. We actually developed a very cool upgraded system for price regulation. Between the DEX swap, the new DEX swap stuff, with our MEV bot protection, and some of our own custom arbitration bots. Basically, the price will always stay at $1. Any corrections happen instantaneously, because we're the only bots. Our bots will be able to make that correction. So price will always stay at $1. And by having that system in place, we will always be able to continually to add liquidity, potentially go to different chains. Of course, being an asset-backed stable, we're really trying to weave this into the fabric of our protocol. You'll be able in the very near future, you'll be able to use the USDX Plus for things like leveraged vaults and some borrowing lending kind of stuff. We also will be introducing a liquid staking type option for USDX Plus, where you can deposit some whitelisted vault tokens, stable vault tokens, that will be coming with soon. And also that receipt token that you get for your deposit, this will have like value as on a third party markets. So if you wanted to get out of it, you could always sell that that for liquid capital. All right, let's go quickly through conversion rates. I think everyone's pretty familiar. We've been kind of saying this for a while now. The DEX IRA conversion will be at the 0.00 0.15 price point. Next year, I believe we're gonna cap it at $100. Make this a smooth transition. Markets seem to be leveling out for the most part, so we feel pretty good about that. And then again, USDX V1 will be converted to USDX Plus, at a 1-to-1 exchange rate at $1. Again, I mentioned some of the scheduling. Like I said, the migration's open now. You can go ahead and start depositing. About 1 week from now, we will launch Dex Swap and migrate everything down. You'll be able to claim, and we'll restart the trading again. And there's some important links, migration stuff, and all the V1 links you may need. There are still some people in the LPs. Feel free to pop out of those and start the migration process, guys. I guess maybe we should open up some questions here first. Make sure we cover everything, and then we can kind of go back to a little celebration.
Let me go ahead and throw a question out there. Just kick it off. For those that are listening that might not be, they haven't kept up with all the recent developments in DeFi. Why did we choose Arbitrum? And what are the advantages and disadvantages, or I guess the advantages to choosing Arbitrum over staying with Binance, for example?
Yeah, of course. Great question. We can. There's actually a ton of reasons, to be honest. The obvious reason is that Arbitrum is just crushing records right now. They've only been around for a couple months, and people are just flocking to it. It's a place where the gas token is ETH, right? So all the ETH bros love it. You can trade for a couple cents instead of a couple dollars, right, on the Ethereum network. So I think that's a big driving factor. But also because of the cheap gas, it makes our vault system, people that want to use the vaults for use our native tokens in the vaults, much more accessible. In the last couple months, we've seen, sometimes the gas on BNB, like, $20 to get out of a vault, which, that's kind of rough for a lot of folks. So, with Arbitrum, maybe $1 or $2 tops in most cases. So that was one of the real driving factors. Just cheap gas, obviously, and following this trend. However, we do. I don't really want to get into it quite yet, but this week we will probably be announcing another partnership with some large ramifications. Some very cool stuff we have already in the pipeline on Arbitrum. Already making those connections and kind of hopefully solidifying ourselves as one of the major players there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think everyone who has been familiar with what Arbitrum's been doing has been really excited about the decision to move there.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. I have a lot of my funds there in general. It's just this is a good network. A lot of things going on. Let me should we take some audience questions? I haven't really been watching the chats much. You got anything out there?
Yeah,
Travis?
so we have a question from Thorhammer. When will staking of GDEX begin? And what is the expected APR to start?
Yeah, so you'll be able to claim and stake same day, right? So about 7 days from now, right? In about a week, give or take, we're going to open up the claims, and you'll be able to just claim and stake. Very similar to what we have now. I think we're going to just let you all go ahead and create the vaults that you like. Maybe we'll do 1 or 2 sponsored vaults. But primarily we want to just let it be a fluid system. We are also going to offer, like as I mentioned, just a purely staking it's almost similar to the V1 app, where you can just single stake, like in our, the previously regulation vaults. I'm sorry, regulation, just the regulation, where you can just single stake your GDEX and earn the USDX plus. Partially because we're, like I said, we're trying to offer choices, and more volume on USDX plus is a good thing for us. But also, especially until we get the V3 vaults out, we want to at least give options for those that maybe don't want to get in and out, and have to break those. Well, you don't necessarily break them, but have it buy and sell. So we're just trying to minimize loss on that until we get that to that point. As far as revenue, things are going pretty well. We put out in the State of the Union a couple months ago. We were about 3K a week in revenue. Honestly, the numbers are still very similar to that. We got rid of the deposit withdrawal fees, which we took a little hit the first couple weeks afterwards, but we did see a bunch of new TVL coming in from non-DexFi tokens, and at the end of the day, that's really what we need. We can't really survive on the deposit withdrawal. We need the volume. So we're still in a really good spot. For we're TVL steadily growing. More very recently, the markets have been down a little bit. So what happens with rewards, right? So we, obviously all the revenue is now coming pretty much strictly from the harvest, right? So what happens is, if the market's down, right, or if if Glacier or Arbidex tokens, if they have a negative price impact, that actually lowers the APR, which also lowers our fees on that, right? So even in a down market, we're still kind of maintaining that same price, which is very positive in my opinion. Once we move to this new the new super app, and make sure everything's clean and bug free, we're going to start picking up some marketing again, really push some of that stuff. So things are looking really good. Like I said, I don't actually have the exact number on APR just yet, but
No, I think you make a good point there. I mean, just looking at that, where overall revenue has stayed steady, even while a lot of these APRs continue to drop, just shows that we're growing user base and we're growing TVL. So once those APRs can kind of rebound or the market goes steady, the underlying investments are growing. So it sounds very sustainable to me, and it's really what we've been hoping for, working towards.
Yeah, exactly. I think like I said, once we're happy with the migration and the new apps, you guys are gonna love the new UI. We'll really start to push a little harder on partnerships and all that. Also, too, honestly, I think guys, like, the vaults are amazing, and a great earner for us. But at the same time, we still have a lot in the pipeline. This new partnership that we're going to be announcing this week will be almost an immediate earner for us, launching like next month or so. And then, of course, a big build up into L1X. That'll be again just revenue directly pouring into the GDEX staker. So yeah, I mean, things are looking really good. We're really happy that we've been able to maintain. We're still building in the bear market. So once that turns around, I think things are going to be really nice for us.
Yeah, I want to touch on, you mentioned the UI and also offering an alternate version of staking the GDEX comparable to the old regulation. Those are a couple of the things that the team's worked on, that the dev team has taken feedback on and made some changes with our new front end. We had a lot of people during the migration that were talking about offering single staking or liking some aspects of the old regulation vault. So adding that back in was just one of the many UI updates that we took from the community. Are there any others, Jake, that you recall?
Yeah, there's probably a ton. I'm, one of the, I guess one of the, off the top of my head, we have some upgrades to the ETF section. People had some trouble sometimes finding them. So basically, so the ETF now will have kind of be similar to the vaults where you won't have to go switch chains to be able to see them. There'll be all the chains in like a leaderboard kind of thing. We'll also have like a my ETF, so you can see all the ETFs that you're in and go directly to that, to those assets. Like I said, there's probably there's actually a ton of stuff that we have going on. The DAO page is getting a major overhaul. Actually, to kind of revert back to the last question, we will we're going to be we'll have real time stats on all everything, TVLs and revenue and POL. So you can all kind of follow along, and just really happy to have it all automated and just ready to go for everyone, so that the team can just focus on building.
Got a fun question here. Do you have any final words for the sandwich bot that we've been hanging out with for the last half a year?
Man, I hate those guys. Oh man, I'm gonna be so glad to get rid of them. I honestly,
they're gonna have to do like a finance report, figure out where all the lost revenue came from.
Yeah, man, dude, they are just vultures. Man, I have no words to describe how happy I am to get rid of those guys. Honestly, I'm just really happy in general, and everything. Like I said, this migration was not an easy thing to, even when we announced this, that we're making this move, a couple months ago in the State of the Union. It was a big bite to chew off, and the first time I looked at the numbers, where it was going to be really, really tight. We had, close to $1 million in Dex IRA, several $1 million in USDX, and having to manage the treasury assets and keeping the operations going. It was a nightmare at one point, but man, do I feel like a weight's been lifted. We handled, the Dex area is taken care of. We've come up with a really good solution for adding just a minor supply to bolster our liquidity, and add our increase our treasury investment fund, which by the way, I also can't stress how important having this, our investment fund is. It's not just so we can have a big treasury. The investment fund, basically the majority of our vault investments, are roughly about 50% take profit. And so what happens is we take the ETFs every month, and we use those to pay operations, to pay for development, to pay for marketing. Right, we're not quite break even. The team is kind of covering the difference. But the bigger we can get those funds, the better off we'll be. The more money we can start spending on marketing when we get to that point. And not only that, the actual investment in the treasury is also providing direct revenue for itself, basically, and ultimately back to the GDEX stakers, right? So, if the bigger our investment fund is, the more harvest we're getting, the more fees we're getting from that fund, which just goes back to the investment, to the GDEX stakers. And it also provides more options for other people that want to get in, right? the Treasury can create these vaults and helps for compounding more frequently, and people can add to them. The long-term plan is to get that big enough to where it can not only support operations and development, and of course marketing, but we can also distribute those back to holders in addition, buybacks and things like that. So really just really happy we made it to this point, and looking forward to the next evolution. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. What do you think, CTO? We got a lot of time on our hands now. We don't have to be clicking buttons.
The race, it feels good.
Yeah.
I'm particularly excited about just the ability for new UI redesigns and being able to avoid the sandwich bots and just moving forward into just something that should already exist but doesn't, and just getting to be a part of it. So it's always great.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, very cool. We're really pioneering a new age here with a lot of this stuff as well.
So I got a question here from from Devil in Discord, D6ville. He says, so if I deposit USDX, I won't get USDX Plus until we are fully collateralized. I'm not following why we need the receipt. Maybe we could go over again the system with the 20% APR on those stables.
Yeah, of course. So like as I've mentioned, we are roughly about 60% collateralized, right? Majority of that is in the investment account, right? We're not saying that we need to wait till it's 100% collateralized, but put it this way: if we just converted it all to the V2, the USDX Plus, then 40% of people are gonna be left with nothing, right? And clearly, we have a reputation, a commitment and a responsibility to all the investors in order to make sure everyone gets paid back. Like I said, basically what'll happen is you'll deposit into the migration contract. You'll receive a receipt basically for those, for the value of those tokens. And as we continue to collateralize, we're going to keep making out payments to the principal, right? So, if you put $100 in, each week, each month, as we are continuing to build, we're going to keep making deposits into that fund, which will allow you to claim your V2 USDX Plus, right? And while you're in there, you will also be earning roughly 20% APR. Similar APRs to what it's been for the last 3-6 months, maybe even. So you'll be earning on that while you're waiting for the principal to come back. And then again, like I said, you will, if you want to liquidate, you could always put that on a third party market. We might even be able to provide a little exchange for that as well. Also worth noting that the funds for the APR dispersals, right, are going to be coming directly from our non-liquid assets, right? Some of our, like I said, our voting, our V NFTs and stuff like that. Those are paying out well over what the average APR is at the 20% range. So we're really confident we have no problems maintaining payments on those. And like I said, any surplus we have, we're just going to keep paying it back. I'll even say this, between myself and the dev team, we've actually acquired over $500,000 in USDX, supporting the market ourselves. So we are fully behind this process, and we're going to probably even make concessions to make sure that everyone gets paid back first before us. So that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. I think that makes sense.
And offering that receipt token, many people might remember staking ETH on maybe Coinbase or some other exchange and being told they'd eventually be able to have access to their liquid staking. That took, a year for it to potentially come around when they started offering a token so that you could go out and finally exit your position on the secondary market. By offering this right away, essentially, anyone could create some sort of contract to swap with someone else, like an NFT swap, or put it into a lending protocol as collateral. Basically, the possibilities are there for other people to offer further liquidity, or that be DexFi eventually. And this is what you've been talking about with the vaults too, right? That receipt token. Can you go into more detail about the benefits for investors with those?
Yeah. Well, so yeah, that covers a couple different things. I think we'll probably even just to make a home base, we'll probably come up with some a system ourselves for a third, like a secondary market for those, just so obviously the people that are in it will be going to the app. So we'll probably provide a way to do that. But you're right. I mean, of course, they hold value as they're constantly being paid out. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of possibilities with that. The other thing you mentioned is a little bit different. A couple different things. So basically, the liquid staking type of thing more revolves around the minting of USDX, right? So, for example, you might have a stable vault. There's the stable-ish one. Stable-ish vault is one of our bigger stablecoin vaults. So, if you were invested in that vault and that was whitelisted, you could then invest in the stable-ish vault, right? Earning 20% or whatever, and then take those vault tokens and then deposit those into basically the proof of reserves contract to hold. Basically, we would hold your vault tokens, your stable vault tokens, essentially backing the USDX. And obviously, if something were to happen with the vault, there'd be a liquidation aspect. But assuming we'll most likely be whitelisting more stable tokens, you'd ultimately wind up with your vault investment that you would still have and be able to redeem, but also be able to mint USDX plus tokens, which you could then keep them in our system, and used for leverage vaults, a different leverage vault, or potentially even take them somewhere else to spend as dollars. Let me look at some of these other questions here. Oops, sorry. Daniel.
I got one here for you. So another question that came in, and this is more of a general question, is do we have multiple product owners or development teams moving forward on each product? So I guess developing each product separately at the same time, or do we have one team that is developing these products linearly?
No, everything's all under us. We have our dev team is up to like 26 people now, I think. We from people, any of you guys don't know our background. Myself and Dex CTO here have a software development company in the real world. About a year ago, we essentially stopped taking clients and just kind of are maintaining some of our SaaS products. But both of us are full time now in crypto, and we took our whole dev team with us, and obviously over the last 6 months or so, we've just continually added to that team. We do compartmentalize. We have different different teams in place for different things. It's obviously we have a ton that we're working on. So it's not we don't all sit down together every day, but that's how it works. We have great team leads and project managers, and CTO here kind of makes sure that everything's going smoothly and gets put out on according to schedule.
Perfect. And then another follow-up. So, so what have we learned from the launch of the vaults as it pertains to user adoption and onboarding projects / maintaining the vaults? What have we been surprised by as a team since we've launched these products?
Yeah, I remember that one from the Discord. More good questions. I think the biggest thing that we learned was that nothing's ever super easy, right? Honestly, I'm still very happy with where we're at, and so proud of the team in general. We have we built something that just doesn't exist. There's a reason why it doesn't exist. It's a super complex system, and even just having the system, if we just wanted the vaults on BSC, we could have, they would be probably the next level. We decided to expand super rapidly in order to be able to give options on different chains, which is what people needed. I think maybe I'll be the first to admit maybe we were a little overzealous, thinking that people would just flock in. Some of our competitors might have a little bit of an advantage, with just their size and maybe connections, and there's it's
Oh,
easy for
brand
people to feel comfortable.
recognition,
Yeah,
how long they've been established, right? People definitely want to always stick with what they know and what they consider safe or very risk averse, right? So even though we've released these products, I think you're referring to Devil's second question there. Even though we release these products and on paper, without a doubt, our vaults are better performing product than some of our competitors, there's definitely going to be a bit of that convincing people to give us a shot, right? And to check us out and see that, it really is greener over at this grass.
Yeah, well, I think the other thing too is, I guess, we, like I said, we might have been a little overconfident that we could just launch this and, have everyone come over. No, well, I guess not that we just thought it would happen magically, right? But I guess what we we didn't necessarily think there's going to be as many bugs, and we expanding so quickly that honestly I still believe that was the right choice, because we need to get the most robust product possible. Honestly, I'm still putting a lot of emphasis, a lot of priority on this next V3 of the vaults. One of the some of the biggest feedback we get is that people dislike having to break their LPs to get in, things like that. So those kind of things, and that's honestly, that's one of the main reasons why we haven't really done a ton of marketing yet, because I feel like we really need to have like more than just a better product. We need to have like a, without a doubt, the most superior product on the market in
The
order to
best
really
product.
swing those investors. I think it's a no-brainer once we get to that point. It's you really can't leave any you can't really leave any objections open, right? There has to be a a response for anybody's potential concerns or complaints, right? And honestly, we're getting there. Having this new app is going to blow people's socks off. We're really focusing on just clean up, making sure everything's efficient and works properly. And then, like I said, once we release the V3, it should line up very nicely with some of our new partnerships coming up. we're going to be getting a lot of exposure from these next two partnerships. The one we're really, we'll be announcing this week, as well as, our partnership with L1X. So, sky's really the limit. I think we're still in a really great shape.
Perfect. Do we have any more questions on the YouTube by chance? Yeah, I think we do. We have
Yep.
plenty.
Here's one. Will GDEX staking be paid out in USDX Plus or choice of tokens?
So the main staking option, just single staking, like our first regulation our regulation farm was, will be paid in USDX Plus, right? You'll be able to basically trade that just for a USDC or any other token at that point. So the actual payout will be in USDX Plus, but of course you can trade that to any single token. And then again, like I said, we might create one or two this time around. Those regulation type vaults, single stake. But at this point, you guys are all really familiar. We've had some really good community participation. If Old Man Tim or Solid Fab wants to recreate their single stake vaults, they're welcome to do that. Or anybody, of course. Trent, you're welcome to set up your own vault with single stake GDEX, and the vault itself will then convert the USDX Plus into any ETF that you'd like. We'll also be adding a ton more ETFs on Arbitrum, of course. Those should probably be ready next week as well. But yeah, we're definitely going to offer more options there to be able to give you guys as many choices as possible. At this point, we really just want it to be fluid and give you guys as many options as possible.
Yes, we have a question here from Andre. I don't think we necessarily want to give an estimate here on time to achieve collateralization, but could we tweak this a little bit and say, do you have any thoughts on future revenue growth and what drivers you think, and then in general, in your mind, what's the goal of 100% collateralization of USDX Plus?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a little tough to give a specific answer, but I will say that, like I said, I'm super confident that we'll get there. And I think we said we're in a really good place. Honestly, if I'm being, a healthy estimate, we have, like I said, we have a new partnership launch coming up in about a month and a half, maybe. Another, and then obviously the L1X stuff, right? Which also coincide with some of our, our non-liquid assets also become super liquid at that point when the vesting starts happening. So I mean, I think I'm optimistic that we can make a good dent on it, at least, if not all of it, over the next couple of months. But that being said, we're somewhat at the mercy of the markets, right? We want to, having the treasury investments is critical in order to maintain operations and keep the wheel spinning. So, we appreciate everyone having a little patience with us, but like I said, the entire time that that your funds are in, 100% will be paying out the 20%. So you'll be earning on it for sure. And like I said, I think over the next couple of months we're gonna try to chip it down quite a bit.
We have a question here from Mihir. You had mentioned some time ago that the ultimate vision of DexFinance is to play with the big boys. Without revealing too many details, what does that vision entail?
Yeah. So I mean, I think we're I think we're still on that track. Well, I mean, obviously, I guess what's your definition of the big boys, right? Is TVL. So, we're going to need to keep bringing in more TVL, but we've already established, that we have, amazing products that can compete with the bigger players. The what we have now, we need to now revise and hone in on, make sure everything's working properly, and that we're up to date with the latest stuff, right? Which we've been doing a really great job of. And I think also, like I said, new things coming up. Our partnership with L1X, for example, will really kind of put us, in that upper echelon league, because we'll be the primary exchange operating on a brand new layer one. But honestly, more so than all that, it's our whole philosophy from the very beginning was to create products that facilitate, more users into the crypto space, right? A lot of us here are, very adept to, the space and all that, but crypto is an emerging market, right? The entire Bitcoin market cap is less than Tesla right now. And that's changing. So, the products that we build, our focus is always going to be on that. I think honestly, just even by next week, you're going to see, a big step forward to that goal, in having, all these things combined down in a single app. The base layer of DexSwap, where people can come in and trade without gas money, signing up with an email address, getting rid of the bots, really having this end-to-end solution, is our ultimate vision.
JD, do you have any more questions from Discord?
No questions in Discord, I don't think. I was just looking over that. I think we're just on the YouTube questions now.
Okay. I will throw. Thorhammer here says, when Kronos and Camelot on Arbitrum. Jake, any words on new farms and dev team priorities?
Yeah, I mean, those are, adding those are, that's definitely on my radar. We honestly, right now, we've basically only been going through, migration stuff. That's kind of low hanging fruit. So we'll try to get those up for everyone in the next at least 2 weeks. Once we get everyone migrated over, that should be an easy pop in.
Got a question here. Your partner MDB is building Foxify and Arb as well. I'm invested and love both projects. Could you perhaps develop more about your partnership, and if anything new is coming between both?
Yeah, we love the guys at MDB. Foxify, it looks like a really great product. And we definitely do have some things in the works. I don't think we can get into it just yet, but yeah, we appreciate what those guys are doing. And happy to support them fully. We're for sure looking forward to building our relationship with them over on Arbitrum, and definitely have some interesting things lined up in the very near future.
I got a question here in Discord. Do we have an approximate time on when we can expect the launch of the Volts V3?
That one I don't want to give a timeline on just yet. Yeah, so again, we haven't really, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've basically just been 100% focused on migration. Like I said, there's no small feat. We're doing a ton here, getting everything over. But I guess I will say this, once we get finished with migration, there a couple of our top priorities will, definitely be the V3, the V3 vaults. We have V2 deck swap, which will be some added UI stuff. Still getting ready for L1X in a couple of months, right? So those are our kind of big priorities. We also want to put some priority on more of the Dex Bank lending, integrating more use cases for USDX Plus, and then obviously as I think it was Trent that mentioned the adding more farms and stuff. So it's kind of a balance at this point. And to be honest, like I said, we're just really trying to get through migration, and then we will we're going to probably take a step back and really prioritize what needs to get done next. And we'll surely put out more information on that as we go, kind of give you some direction on where we're heading next.
Perfect. Naravar has asked, I've not followed closely on L1X. Are they on schedule? Is the DEX integration with L1X on schedule? I'll say right off the bat that as I've been keeping up on L1X a bit, they haven't had any kind of hiccups or delays in their development. So I think that everything, as far as they're concerned, on their own end is on schedule. When it comes to the DEX integration with L1X, that's something we're working with them on. But that's a little bit that's a bit far out compared to our next products that are going to come out, right? So the L1X exchange is going to be, I think, in August, and we have a couple of things that are coming up sooner, and so we've definitely got our focus on those right now. But everything's developing perfectly.
Yeah, I'll follow up on that too. Yeah, and from their end, everything's on schedule. In fact, they're all over us to get them. They're not only ready on their end, but they're also already trying to integrate with us, and some of the stuff that we're doing. Obviously, we have we're on schedule as well. But like I said, we have this migration to get through. DexSwap V1 and then DexSwap V2, and then ultimately L1X Dex is going to be essentially DexSwap V3. So our whole plan is to continually keep adding until we get to the the crescendo where we can introduce basically all the functionality and feature sets from from DexSwap into this new L1X Dex, which we can integrate all their tech too. So yeah, we're right on schedule. And like I said, we're going to be continuing to honestly, you guys you'll be seeing it first because it'll all come out on DexSwap as we go along.
Beautiful. Another question here. Like a true software as a service company, have we considered any acquisitions instead of building everything in-house? I have a dream that DexFi absorbed Arbitrum.
And Arbitrum is great. They're one of our best partners. If anything, so the thing is, what we do really well is build, right? What we're trying to do is find partners that are good at other things. Arbitrum is one of them. They have a great community, right? A lot of good TVL. So ultimately, as a software company, right, we want to be building things that don't exist, right? Which is why we can't actually go to a third party, source. Obviously, that wouldn't make us a a software. It would make us a user of a software company. Honestly, I was recently at Consensus, and of course, there's the big boys. All the blockchains are there, and the CME's there. But honestly, I was a little disappointed with some of the the smaller projects. Just not a whole lot going on, right? Nothing that really piqued my interest as far as cool software to use. Which is why we have such a great niche, right? We can really build anything we want. And, it's maybe the long, the long road, but, the more we continue to add to our stack, the better off we'll be. And, we've already spoken with Arbitrum, for example. They're definitely going to continue doing their thing. And, we want to support them with the stuff that we're building, right? So, as we continue to, to add products and features, right? In fact, like even DexSwap is a good example. We don't necessarily need to be, the have the biggest TVL, the biggest liquidity, right? When we go to, well, when we finally get to L1X, we're trying to build this engineering layer that, that basically other DEXs can use and come through. So people will, be sharing liquidity, and basically we'll get a little cut on all the commissions. That's where we want to, fit ourselves in.
Yeah, we definitely want to be have our fingers in a lot of pots. Nobody necessarily knows, and we're making money.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
as you get more of those pots, you're bound to end up working with people who in some of our different verticals we may consider a slight competitor, but they still are going to be able to see value from the products we offer that allow them to expand, and ultimately it's a symbiotic relationship. Both sides benefit, and that's what I think most of our partnerships have ended up working out as. There's a lot behind the scenes on these than what may necessarily be public. There's more relationships and partnerships that go on as you generate these deeper partnerships with a smaller set of projects.
Yeah, absolutely. To expand on that too, like it's really hard running, like if you don't have something that's different, or that performs better, it's really hard to just fork something and have any sustainable kind of growth, right? If you're just forking something that was already there, the shelf life is limited, right? Even the money market, was, we forked some stuff, we built a whole bunch of other stuff, and arguably the most successful tomb fork out there. But even that, people, if it doesn't actually earn real revenue, it's just not sustainable, right? So, yeah, we want to keep all of our partners we have. We're not trying to step on any toes. We want to integrate with everyone we have.
And we definitely want to get to a place where when people are interacting with DeFi, more often than not, they don't realize that they're interacting with DexFi as well, right? We want to get as integrated as we can with DeFi and where everyone's paying attention, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, our goal is to get rich, not famous,
That's right.
To expand on that too, that there's a lot of questions about partnerships and which tokens can be in an ETF, and as long as the platform exists for that, and we have our teams broken into strategic units like we do, then it gives us the ability to offer that unified product, something that's not only great but like intuitive, something like basically if you do something great but it's so simple, it's almost like you never did anything at all, because you really want partnerships and ETF token creations and everything to just feel and be seamless, so that you have that platform to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean the partners want that too. It's, even if it's the best product, partners don't want to send traffic away, right? They want the seamless integration, and we want to provide that.
While making money with their own assets that they want to see as a part of the system.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Sevik, do we have any more questions on YouTube?
Yeah. Bert here says, is there a marketing plan fund drawn up?
There's not a specific plan, or specific it hasn't necessarily been written down anywhere. Definitely something we can kind of get into and provide. Like I said, up until now, even in the the next month or so, we've purposely not chosen to spend a ton of money on marketing, because especially with some of the the big whales we're trying to get from our competitors and things like that. You really only have one shot to get, and we want the best product available for that that at that point. That being said, like once we have the new app and we're comfortable with everything, we definitely want to start getting into some more marketing. As I mentioned, that will essentially have to come from the investment fund, returns from that investment fund, which again is a reason why it's one of our top priorities. But also even stuff like partnership marketing and doing cross AMAs and stuff. We have actually several kind of lined up, and some new people we've been talking to, and some oldie but goodies. But again, like I said, we've been really trying to just get through migration and make sure that we have the best product available.
Beautiful. And just to touch on that and kind of circle back to the question we got earlier, someone was asking us, like, what have we learned since launching the vaults? I would say one thing that we've learned since launching Dex IRA back in the day is that the crypto market is a lot more fickle to market to than the traditional market. And there's an aspect, like you were saying, Jake, where we don't want to advertise something that has any kind of bugs, anything that on the front of it isn't necessarily ready to be marketed, right? And so in terms of all of our marketing plans going forward, like Jake was saying, we don't have a strict plan in place. What we're definitely focused on is getting all these products out, the undisclosed product, L1X, and we'll be marketing up, near those launches and, relative and contextually, right? But as for like a formal big marketing plan where we've got it all planned out to roll out, we're not there at the moment. We're just focusing on building.
And I think if you look at the analytics of our community, just look at the people who you talk to in Discord and Telegram. And if you ask people, how did they hear about DexFi? It's through all of our partners. Our investors have come through our partners. So there's two ways to market. You either market through your business partnerships or you market direct to the consumer. And what we found is our retention is best with our partners. Many of you have come from MDB, you've come from EMP, you've come from all of these other projects that Arbitrum and Velocimeter. You've come from these other partnership projects and stuck around. So as we grow those and develop those more, they continue to grow their bases, which also funnels more people to know about our products. So it goes back to that symbiotic relationship that we're focusing on the products and the technical aspects of these products. And it just is why we haven't been able to, and I have chosen to not put the energy into the direct marketing recently.
Yeah, well said.
It's been, I mean, you have decades of experience running marketing campaigns, CEO. So, I mean, you know what it costs and the efforts involved in it. So I think you were touching on the fact that it's all about branding and product before you really push that budget and effort, and we do have that lined up. I guess it's just a matter of exactly when you want to, pull the trigger on all these things. It's it's a lot of assets, and we're prepared, and it's a lot of budget, and we want to make sure that doesn't eat into it. I think,
Yeah, I'll say this too. Also, with just our two big partnerships coming up, those partnerships have in the millions, multi-millions of dollars in marketing budgets. And so if we can play the the strong silent type and just keep building, and like I said, just play to our strengths while we let our partners play to their strengths, I think that's going to go a lot further than than just the spray and pray approach. Again, that's also not to say we're not doing our own efforts. We actually have some quite creative things in the pipeline right now that we'll be launching as soon as we finish this merge.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we're following what any standard technology business would do. You build the product first, and then you pay for the marketing after the product's done. And we launched something with minimum viable product to start bringing in revenue, but we're not putting our resources towards marketing yet. And like Jake said, multi-million-dollar budgets at these other projects, and just look at L1X. They're marketing everywhere, and that premier Dex position is really going to pay dividends eventually.
We got a question here. Are there plans to refine our brand and align our products? I sometimes feel like it's hard to explain DexFi. We have easy vaults, but then you have to pick farms and ETFs, which require a fair amount of DeFi knowledge. Are we here for the complex DeFi person, or are we targeting simpler users, like creating an easy target date fund similar to those in 401ks, like Coinbase versus Coinbase Pro?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think both obviously, our roots here are in in DeFi, right? So, I think it's important to start with some of the more advanced stuff. And even when I say advanced stuff, like the whole point of the vaults, right? Like, I'm not sure how many of you guys have actually gone and like created like an LP position and staked it on like any of the solid dexes, right? But it takes time. You have to go and like you have to click like 30 buttons. Whereas if you're not into that, or you don't have as much knowledge, you can just go find a vault and just click with one button and get in there. So it's of course catering our base and giving those options, as well as trying to make everything we do more easy and accessible to to everyone out there. I think as we move forward, we're gonna the gap will be widening, right? Leading up to like the L1X stuff, we're really trying to make that version of essentially DexSwap to be the most user friendly, the ability to move between chains, without even knowing it, on ramps, off ramps, seamless account configuration, that kind of thing. Essentially almost more like a centralized exchange that you have complete control over. So, all those things are important to us, and I think we're doing pretty well at kind of covering all of our bases there.
It's a good question, from an engineering standpoint too. It's like you can just hold one token and earn dividends, right? Or you can compound into a vault or a farm that you receive a reward from, or you could 100% compound, right? Or you could also add ETFs. So as you add all these necessary layers, it's important to bring it all back down into a simplified user interface. It's like introducing the iPhone and a flip phone generation. It's like, yeah, it's easier, but there's more you can do if you want to. And I think that's a good way of looking at it for an end goal.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can pick off a couple of these questions here. Oh, no questions from your box, just party hats. What's up, brother? How we doing, man? Yeah, that's what I was gonna hit next. Essentially every Dex share, all the tokens, right? Dex IRA, Dex share, USDX. Essentially anybody who is purchased before this time next week, will be able to migrate over, right? There will obviously be some slippage involved where Dex IRA has been around for 2 years. Once every couple of weeks we get someone that pops in that says their wallet was stolen, or there's people, people move and lose their computers, who knows. So there's probably going to be, even on the newer tokens, I'm sure there will be a fair amount of tokens that don't get over. However, we're not just gonna shut the gate off from people that do that, or that maybe miss the window. We wanted to keep the window tight, about a week here, because honestly, in past migrations, you guys have all been pretty great with getting over quickly. Also, one of the reasons why I've been kind of harping, in the announcements about splitting the LPs and stuff, so that when today came, everyone was pretty much ready for it. There looks like there's maybe 130, another 150 or so. There's a couple 100,000 in the LP still that you know they'll either figure out, or they won't by next week. But that's down from several million that you guys look like you seem like you're already poised to jump in. I mean, honestly, there's 2 million already in the locked contracts that I'm looking at right now. So at the end of the day, we want to keep the window small so that there's not too much downtime, and we can resume trading as quickly as possible. But at the same time, if there are people that miss the window, they can always contact us. We'll just verify that they didn't scalp something, post migration at an unfair discount, and then we'll just batch them in, into the migration stuff as it comes. Obviously, anyone who purchased tokens rightfully deserves to be taken over on their side. So I guess we'll definitely keep a balance. We've already actually minted all of all the Dex share supply. It's in our multi-sig at the moment. In the coming week, we will distribute the just under 20,000 for the new bond protocol, as well as obviously all of the migrated funds. Anybody who doesn't any of that margin, we'll just probably leave in the treasury, the multi-sig, until it's ready to be claimed. I don't know, at some point after a year or so we might consider just burning it, or figuring out something else, but that's the general game plan. Glad to hear you're enjoying the vaults, my friend Yabonks. When do we get a new Yabonks vault?
Yabonks is already planning his new Arbitrum vault.
There we go. Yeah, we need a sponsored Yabonks vault, man.
Here's a question. I've seen some projects allow people to buy NFTs via credit cards on Polygon. Those NFTs are their buy-in for trading bots and profit share. Any consideration to offer that sort of on-ramp into vaults?
I don't know about NFTs. I don't know how NFTs fit in there, but yeah, the on-ramp is definitely something that will be integrated into DexSwap, the vaults. I don't have an exact timeline on that, but for the V2, at least within the next month and a half or so, when we release the V2, that should probably be in there. But yeah, all those kind of features are great. That's kind of what we're talking about, is making it super user friendly and accessible to everyone.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know that credit card on-ramp, fiat on-ramp is such a huge ease of convenience thing for most people, right? So definitely a great question, and definitely something that we're focused on making sure that we can offer. All right, let's take a look here for any more questions. Yeah, well, we're looking for any more questions to come in. If anyone's got any questions in Discord or YouTube or even Telegram, by all means, drop those questions and we'll get them answered up. It's been fun watching this or listening to this AMA and watching Jake have to tiptoe around certain subjects. A lot of exciting things in the pipeline that we wish that we could talk about already.
Yeah, honestly, it's all going to happen really quickly moving forward. We're about to, I think we're going to announce that other undisclosed partnership this week. And then after that, like I said, we'll get a little better outline for future dev schedules and priorities on that. And we're really going to hit the ground running, man. We're super excited. Happy to be able to make it not only just 1 year for money market, but almost 2 years now with Dex IRA. Always be a little sad to see it go as our baby, but we are the new setup is just feels really good.
The most important question that has been asked tonight: when Lambo?
Lambo soon.
I can't get these pop-ups right. I apologize tonight. It's so delayed. Oh.
You guys heard it here first. Lambo soon.
Jake, what kind of car guy are you? Would you go Lambo or would you go with something else?
Me? I take Ubers, man. You can't drink and drive in a Lambo. I'm a heavy Uber driver. Uber rider, I should say.
We can rent you one in Vegas.
Yeah, as long as I got a driver, sure.
Yeah, get that Lambo Uber driver.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Vegas should be soon.
That's exciting. I know a lot of people, Vegas is their DexFi dream, right? Everyone's going to bed and tucking themselves in under the sheets and dreaming of Vegas.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
I'll tell you, I was getting a little excited last summer, but we'll get there.
Yeah, it's not a sprint. We'll make it.
All right, let's give everyone a couple minutes to ask any more questions. If anyone's got anything on the top of their mind they want to get out, feel free. Don't be shy. No stupid questions. Anything you can think of.
Yeah, sure. We've been there an hour and a half. We covered a lot. Obviously, our doors are always open. We'll be around on Discord, Telegram. Yabonks is about due for another 3-hour video on us. So there'll be more info coming. Also too, like I said, the focus right now is migration. So this next week we're going to be, just continually putting out, some more teasers and information on, what to expect next. So, this is just a start.
All right. Well, I just want to go ahead and cap it off at the very least, say a few things. I think that it's been an absolute pleasure to work with and meet all of you. 1 year down with, as far as the money market's concerned, but 2 years, like you were saying, since IRA. 2 years ago, Jake and Matt here, they were entering crypto and, for the first time in a big way. And it's crazy to see how far we've come and what we've been able to accomplish. We've met so many amazing people along the way. Sevic, Grover, Conan. Everyone knows Conan, of course. If you've got any issues, the team here has just been amazing. Everyone is a team player. Everyone's a Dexian. And, the old meme, we're all going to make it. It's never felt more applicable and more rational than it is in this project for me personally.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I can't thank the team enough. You guys have all stepped up in major ways. Each of you guys have your own skill sets. And everyone here appreciates that. We definitely couldn't have done it without you guys.
Also, I'd be remiss not to mention some of our amazing moderators and team members. So like BioDad, Side Hustle, Dextrous K, just Raul. I just want to make sure no one's left behind. I'm going to get DMs from people like, you didn't even mention me. What the hell?
Everyone's been kicking ass.
Yeah, absolutely. When we put them on the flyer for this AMA, we gotta announce them.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Well, I guess let's cap it here. Unless we got anything else last minute. Oh, KN 636 for deck swap. You mentioned to be gasless. Oh, yeah. So gasless is cool. I guess we can cover some of that stuff real quick. Yeah, so basically, we're going to be definitely one of the very first to be on this new token standard. It's really cool. It's all backwards compatible. First off, so it's not like you need a new wallet or anything like that. But yeah, the gasless stuff essentially what allow the main thing that allows us to just is it's a new token standard. And essentially, there's it almost works like a separate wallet, right? So basically, you won't be forced into it. If you choose to use the gasless, you basically approve that. You approve that first transaction. Which we'll probably come up with a a way to supply that first bit of gas. For newcomers. And like I meant, well, maybe I mentioned that we'll most likely just airdrop everyone who migrates a little bit of ETH on Arbitrum just so you can have a little stake in the game over there if you want to participate in things off of DexFi. Yeah, but basically the new token standard allows for basically permissionless trades. So once you approve that, it allows us to use like a relayer to go out and find the best gas prices available, and then make that trade for you. And essentially, it just takes a little bit off the token that you're trading to pay back the relayer a couple cents.
Which essentially for the end user ends up being like a gasless transaction, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, there's someone, we're not magicians, contrary to popular belief. Yeah, someone has to pay the gas, but like I said, really, and I think I put an announcement out recently about there's a bunch of cool advantages to it. But yeah, really, this is all in an effort to create this kind of seamless, one app platform that can be used by the most serious in-depth investors down to just brand new investors who are coming from a Coinbase account or just off the street for the first time, where they can ideally use a credit card or a debit card to deposit their first funds and then hit the ground running. Whereas everyone's walked at least one person through the process, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been real. Again, can't thank you all enough. Amazing team, amazing community. We're already at almost 2.5 million migrated so far since we've been on the call here. Appreciate everyone's willingness and patience as we kind of get through these hurdles, and just can't stress how happy we are to get to this point, and really looking forward to the next next year and beyond.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank everybody for tuning in.
Of course.
Thanks
All right,
a lot.
guys. Great talking to you. We'll see you in the chats.
All right.